Hey, what's up? Zach D Productions here, and I'm here for a movie review for you guys. As you can see, I am once again outside. It is nice out, so I figured why not record this review here outside. So, for this review, this is for a newer film. This is going to be my review for Fast X, also known as Fast and Furious 10. So, I just have to say, despite all the negative to mixed reviews and such, I actually quite enjoyed this movie when I saw it in theaters. I quite liked it, actually. I thought it was quite good. I do think it's a step up from Fast 9. Now, Fast 9 I do like, but I do think it is one of the weaker films in the franchise. Now, keep in mind, I never really grew up with the Fast films. Like, I really didn't get on board with the Fast and Furious films till about maybe last year or so, or something like that. I don't know. I realize that I am late to the party, but it is what it is. Better late than never. I just never really had an interest in this franchise, like 10 years ago, or, even before that. Like, I just never really had an interest. But, over the last year or so, I've started to broaden out towards other franchises and stuff, and I ended up really liking the Fast and Furious films. I'm quite surprised how much I really like these films. They're definitely not what I thought they were, and I think for the longest time that's why I stayed away from them for the longest time. But yeah, I actually quite dig the Fast films, and this one I think is really good. Now, maybe this is because I'm a newer fan of the Fast films, and that's why I, was a little more optimistic towards this film, and I was looking forward to it. Now, do I think that the Fast and Furious franchise should end? Yeah, probably, because they have made way too many of them. I mean, how many franchises really go this far, to part 10, like, very rarely does something like that happen, Usually a lot of franchises cut it to about, usually a trilogy, sometimes not. Sometimes there's franchises that go up to 4, to 5, to 6, but it's not every day you see a franchise go up to, like, part 10, so there you go. Well, there's actually 11 if you want to count Hobbs and Shaw, which Hobbs and Shaw is actually one of my personal favorite films in the franchise, and that's only a spin-off, so there you go. I actually really like Hobbs and Shaw, though. I know that there were rumors about there being a sequel to that. I hope that there's a sequel to it, but apparently it's not in the works, so it's whatever. But if we get another spin-off that's just as good, I'm all for it, to be quite honest. So, Fast X. Yeah, I was looking forward to this one. And this movie, it has a lot of good things going for it. Once again, I do think it's a step up from Fast 9. I do think it's better, to be honest. I would honestly say that this is maybe the best Fast and Furious film. If we're not including Hobbs and Shaw, probably the best one since Furious 7, which was, of course, the last one with, what's his name? Paul Walker. May he rest in peace, of course. And yeah, this film, again, has a lot of good things going for it. Great performances from all the cast. I mean, you, of course, have Vin Diesel back as Dom Toretto, and he does good in these. I mean, he's, of course, the main face of the Fast and Furious franchise. And you have Jason Momoa as a villain in this movie as well, which is quite a surprise. Like, I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about Jason Momoa being a villain, especially in the Fast and Furious franchise, but you know what? I bought it. I thought he was very convincing as a villain. He really gave it his all as a villain in this movie, and I'm quite surprised. So yeah, I really do dig Jason Momoa's performance in this film. Really good, I would say. And he's obviously one of the main highlights of the movie, I would say, and I'm sure many of you could agree with me on that. And yeah, you basically have everyone else back as well. You have the whole team back, but they kind of like all went their separate ways. Like, that's one of the things that I noticed about this film is, like, you get a different perspective of each, character's path, if you know what I mean. Like you have that team's path, you have John Cena's path, you have Vin Diesel's path, and so on and so forth. You know how it goes. And yeah, John Cena is in this movie. He was in Fast 9, so yeah, he is in this movie. And yeah, I mean, it is interesting that John Cena made a return in this movie. His objective is basically to protect Dom's son in this movie. So yeah, I do dig a lot of the action in this movie. I mean, there is CG in the movie for sure. And a lot of the movie is pretty much over the top, you know, when it comes to action. I mean, some of the action is kind of over the top that it's ridiculous. And I kind of feel the same way about Fast 9 as well. But yeah, I think this film and Fast 9 are both kind of on that same level of like over the top action, which, you know, I think some of it works, you know. Some of it is very fun to watch, especially towards the first half of the film when they're chasing after the bomb. I thought that was a fun scene. That was a really fun part of the movie, I would say. Lots of action sequences going on there. And I'm not going to really spoil what happens necessarily, but the movie kind of leaves off at a cliffhanger that involves Vin Diesel and his son in the movie. They basically leave you wondering if they're going to make it out alive. I'll just say that. Like, if they're going to make it out of this mass destruction that's going on. Because, well, in the movie, they actually don't defeat Jason Momoa's character right away. So, there is that. I guess they're going to save a showdown for another movie with Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa, either for the next movie or the movie after that for the final Fast film, because supposedly the last Fast and Furious film, yes, they're finally going to end the franchise, is supposedly coming out in 2027. Apparently there's going to be 2 more after this one. There's going to be one in 2025 and then one in 2027. At least that's the word on the street. That's what I've heard. So yeah, I mean, it's good that it's finally coming to a close, you could say. So yeah, because again, not gonna lie, I mean, they've made way too many Fast films. They really did. But still, I like this movie though. I liked it for what it's worth. I mean, I will say that one of my big complaints with this movie, something that was kind of a letdown for me personally, you guys know that I am a Jason Statham fan. He is one of my favorite actors. He is in this movie, but he's not really in much of the movie. He's like only in a little bit of the movie, like towards the end, and that's it. Like when Han shows up to his safe house and there's a little showdown that goes on at his safe house. You know, so there wasn't really much of Jason Statham's character in the movie, which was kind of a letdown for me. I mean, it's better to have him in some of the movie or a little bit of the movie than not at all. So there is that. So yeah, but I thought what Jason Statham had to work with, he did fine. He did good in the movie. So yeah, again, I dig the action scenes, a lot of the action sequences. I think it's all really well done. So Fast X, it's a good one. It's a really good film. Again, despite the mixed reviews for it, I'd say it's worth checking out. If you are a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, I'd say check this one out. I'd say it's really good. So that is my review for Fast X. Overall, really good film. Probably one of my favorite films of the year. I'm not really sure where it would rank as of this moment as far as my favorite films of the year so far, but I do like this one quite a bit. I do like it. It's definitely a good one. So if I were to give this movie a score, I'd have to give it maybe an 8.5 out of 10. I do think it's a really good one though. So again, worth checking out if you haven't seen it. So that's my review for Fast X. Let me know what you think. Have you seen this movie? Feel free to let me know. So on that note, thanks for watching. Have a good one.